Hello woolly thistlers, it's Rachel from Barkland Croft here in Fair Isle, and as this is my first video of 2025 I just want to wish you all a very happy new year, and so does Roller Cola there. Just look at this weather we had on New Year's Day. I couldn't believe it. It was dry, reasonably calm, blue skies and sunshine. And the evening didn't disappoint either. We had the most incredible display of the Northern Lights, or Mirror Dancers as they're called here, that I think I've probably ever seen since I've been here. You'll probably see on social media loads of people were posting the same Northern Lights, and they have all these luminous pink and green shots, which it doesn't look like in real life at all. My phone is about 7 years old now, and so many times previously I've tried to capture them for you and I just end up with a black screen, but this is pretty much what I was seeing with my own eyes. It's not been enhanced or whatever you call it at all, so really breathtaking. The following day the snow came back. Minnie Milk decided he would fight with the silage bales as I was putting them out, which was funny until I realised that he was about to push this one in the ditch and then we had to stop. I tried to get him to be helpful and bash it back the way I needed it to be, but he wasn't having it. After the snow went, we had some really beautiful sunrises here in the Isle. Some really calm and still mornings, which after last year's January, which I think consisted of about 31 days of gales in a row, this really was such a balm. Maple, one of my boys, went missing for a short while and then had to suffer the indignity of the walk of shame home. Thankfully, it didn't take too long to find him, and he was back with his pals before he knew it. And I forgot to take a before photo, but you can see what was the very big hole that he made in this fence. The wire fencing here does not last for very long at all because it's such a salty air. It just rusts so quickly and becomes incredibly thin and brittle, and sometimes the sheep can just push their way through it like Maple obviously did there. In the middle of January, we had a visit by a Japanese documentary crew who were with us for about 5 days, and you can see them here with Tommy, who was their host. He runs one of the guest houses here. Unfortunately, David, who took the photo, managed to put some kind of filter on, so it looks like they've all got, I don't know if it's yellow ears or bows in their hair. When the crew got in touch with us several months ago to say they were planning to come in January, everyone was telling them, don't come in January, don't come in January, it's the worst possible time of year, the weather is awful, you're liable to get to Shetland and get stuck in Shetland for a week because the planes will be cancelled. And just look, I think they thought we were a complete bunch of liars about the weather, because they had 5 days of this incredible calm, still, warm. Amazingly, it was about 10 degrees C. Dry, no wind, blue skies, sunshine. Honestly, if the weather in May and June is like this, I will be over the moon, but very, very unseasonable for January. The main focus of their documentary was the knitting tradition here in Fair Isle, and they wanted their presenter to knit a kind of panel on the knitting machine. So she was here for a couple of days with me, and I showed her how to use the machine, and she picked her own colours, picked her own patterns, punched her own punch card, and she did a really excellent job in a short space of time, and this is what she created. It was quite a lot of work and quite intensive, but they had a great time, and I was so pleased that they were able to get all of the filming done that they wanted. And after 5 days, that was it. They were flying off back to Shetland, and I think they were going to be filming some of Up Heliar, the fire festival, whilst they were there. And another day, blue skies and sunshine. You wouldn't believe it was January. Well, until about an hour after they left. And then I think the weather suddenly realised what month we were in and that it was actually still winter, and back came the bad weather. Here are Taffy and Plink. These are Sandy's lambs. They were the ones that were born as a complete surprise when I was away on my research trip in September. And just look at how well they're doing and how cheeky they are. I was in the middle of putting some silage out for the garden sheep, and they decided to nip in and use it as a little buffet. Help themselves. My joy at the 5 days of summer-like weather that we had in the middle of the month has quickly been replaced by pretty much despair, as the ground is just so waterlogged now. It's hard to know where to put the ring feeder every day to put their silage into. As you can see, it's just every time you spot a bit of green, you think, oh, I'll move it there, because you have to move it every few days so the ground doesn't become all poached up and muddy around it. But it's just every spot of green is underwater. So it's a bit challenging at the moment, shall we say. I think the cats had the right idea. There's Scampy snuggling up to Ruffalo. And thank you so much for all your kind comments about Scampy. Her eye is completely healed now, which is great. That lump under the cover is Tortuga. She likes to keep nice and cosy. And yeah, some days I wish I could get in and join them and stay away from the bad weather. And Ruffalo didn't look too impressed later on that day when Scampy took over the bed. And I'll leave you with photos of the sheep enjoying some of their lovely holiday cards that you sent them. Thank you so much. And here's Brandywine deciding to see if it tastes as good as it looks. Bye for now.